If you take a girls trip, what's the longest you think that trip should be? Like, what's the longest you will stay on a girls trip? How many days?
Where are we going?
It doesn't matter. Just like, is there a cap?
Not necessarily because if I go to Europe or I'm in Africa, I'm expecting to spend 10 to more days there. And if I'm just going locally to the Bahamas or something, then 4 or 5 days. I don't think that there's any length of time or time span that's too much. I shouldn't be gone for more than a month unless it's for work or something that's, you know what I mean, taking me out of the country for something like that. But 4 or 5 days on the weekend and 2 weeks if out of the country and somewhere where you need to be there for at least 10 days to be able to enjoy every aspect of
Okay. All right. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Right. Nowhere in hell.
it. What? What do you mean? It takes
Not
me a day or two to get to where I'm going.
if you with me, you ain't going on no damn girls trip anyway. But that's neither here nor there. What the hell?
What
Four,
if
five.
a friend is getting married? I'm her bridesmaid.
No, you're not going. Get another
That,
bridesmaid.
that's crazy. Why? What does girls trips lead to for you? What is the
Fucking,
trauma? That's
fucking.
trauma, baby. Because somebody did that shit to you don't mean that's what every woman does when they go out of town. Stella don't always get a groove back. Bitches ain't
Y'all
always
go
like a
to another
fucking men on an
country. Y'all
island
fucking.
because they go to Jamaica. I can go to Dominican Republic without having to
Y'all fucking.
pay a
Stop.
prostitute like niggas do when they go out of town. You know what I mean?
Whatever.
Like I can actually go and not have to worry about those things in comparison to men who don't necessarily do the same thing. Like
Okay.
y'all go places to fuck hoes. I'm not going to Jamaica to see a big black nigga that I can have at home.
Big black nigga.
I'm just saying. I'm not. I'm like. If that's what I'm looking for, I don't have to go to another fucking another island or another state or another anything to get that. I
So
can
you
get
only
that
date.
right here.
So you saying you only date big black niggas? That's what you saying. That's your type, big black nigga.
Black. I'm just saying.
Come on,
My
really,
thing is,
big black nigga.
I'm not going out of town. You know how men's trips are Colombia. It's prostitutes. It's here. It's there. We're doing all these things because you have accessibility to it, and a lot of men tend to do that when they go out of
Wait, what
town.
do you mean?
Guys
Men
trip.
don't do that.
All right.
Women be doing that.
Let me get some other people in there. Go ahead, Lady Di.
Okay, so I agree with Andrea, and I don't I don't think being long distance make the relationship better. I just think that you just don't some people just don't get along with each other. You can't stay in the same space every day all day. Your routine, some people get bored of going to work, coming home and doing that same thing every day, same car, same house. Like some people get bored of that. I think it's just a person. If you are with that person and you like that person enough, which you should as to why you're with them, then nothing outside of the house should be able to make it like that's the only thing that's going to keep the relationship together. You and that person is what keeps the relationship together. Everything around it is just like the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. It just
Hey,
makes it spicier. I do agree that you should have more spice in your relationship. Don't just come home every single day and do the same thing every day unless both of y'all align that way, but I'm pretty sure a lot of us don't. I think you should go and date sometimes. It don't have to be so scheduled. It could just be natural whenever it is time is right to do that. So yeah, having a relationship long distance does not make the relationship last. I think it just makes it worse because you don't get to know each other enough, and then you start to fight when you get together because you're not with that person, even know what it is that that person likes. You just talking to them on the phone or on a video, but ain't nothing like in person. You got to be around the people that you care about and that you like, just so you could get to understand them. I think like what Trev Smooth was saying, like the perspective. The reason why some people don't get that is because they don't ask enough questions. People would say a whole bunch of stuff and you just listen and say, okay, but you ain't asked them what the hell you talking about. What does that mean? You know what I mean? You gotta like inquire. You're
What
not
are you
like just in a
talking about?
you're not like in a classroom and you're just looking at the instructor and they're just talking. And then you fail your test because you ain't asked the damn teacher a question. You have to ask questions in order to understand people's perspective. That's how that works. If you don't want to know, then you're not going to ask. So In order to do all that, you got to be with that person. You got to be connected with that person together. Now, every day, I mean, I don't know, depends on your job, but you have to understand you're not with that person every day anyway, because they go to work, unless y'all working from home. But most people are outside of the house, so you ain't with that person every day anyway. I mean, all day, I should say. You see them when they come home, so that's enough time apart if you want to put it like that. But wait, one more thing. There's Chinese people or whatever. There's people who have their own business and they husband and wife do stuff together for years, and that works as long as you guys understand each other, and it could work. You just have to communicate. Right?
Okay, so if your mate is boring, do you ask them like, why are you so boring? Or do you put it in a statement form and say, you boring? Or do you just go tell your friends, say he boring?
Did they get born or were they boring from the start?
Shit, they might have been boring from the start. It just didn't
Then
really.
I'm not with you. Because
Huh?
what the fuck am I with you for if I'm not
Well,
in with a boring man?
because him or her may just been nice. Might have just been nice and
Nice isn't
and
enough.
everything. He was
Enough.
he was doing all the right things.
And I like introverted men. I like niggas that sit in the house. I don't sit in the house. But I like men who sit in the house. And for that reason, I can say I don't necessarily like boring. You still have to know how to vibe out and enjoy yourself and have a good time and be sociable, and move in different spaces because I want somebody who's confident in their
Right, but there's levels to boring. So, and you may not discover.
That's subjective. What kind of boring? Like plays video games boring? Like I would rather read a book than watch TV. That's not necessarily boring, but this is
It all depends on how irritated you are. Because if you're real irritated about something else, then you may just start looking at every little thing like this motherfucker just boring as hell. I don't like to do shit. Sit in the fucking house.
But why'd I give him? I must have liked some about his ass sitting down.
I'm just talking shit, man. I'm just.
I'm like, I must have liked his ass sitting down and being good and staying at home. I love it.
Roof, it came back. And it came back. Like your shit fine. It did. Cooking. That grease down is popping over there.
Sound like some bugs or something.
Look, the mosquitoes in that light, ain't they? Yeah, let me go ahead and mute you. Just mute up. Like whatever you did the first time, just try to go back out and come back in. So just hit the refresh button. And we're gonna try to see if we can bring you in. There you go. I lost track, man. Go ahead. Who haven't spoke on this?
I go. So yeah, I'm gonna take Andrea and Lady Di on this one. You could actually be around somebody all day, right? And if you're like best friends as well as lovers, then you really don't get tired of each other, right? Like you could literally be around this person all day and feel weird not being around this person. Like you could really just want to be around them all day. I've seen some instances where people work together and then go home together, and you're like, oh man. And then I've also seen the other side of it, where I saw a dude one time, a husband work with his wife, and he like shoulder brushed her or whatever, like knocked her out of the way. Like it was that deep. I'm like, oh shoot! Like I witnessed this. Yeah. So it, you just have to understand that person, right? You have to get along. That's no doubt. You have to get along with them. The more that you actually appreciate them, the more you are like-minded, the more you have similar interests, then the more you could be around them. There's some people who just can't be around people for a long time, right? And I'm kind of guilty of that. I don't really like. I like my own space sometimes, right? And that's just because that's just me. I don't feel like there's anything wrong or right with it. What I do understand is that you have to have a partner who's on the same page with you. Like you can't have a person that wants to be around you all day and you just don't want to be bothered, because that's crazy, right? But most of the time I do my separation is just because I'm working. So I couldn't be with somebody who would want to be all over me all the time, because I'm always busy, right? I'm always trying to do some type of hustle or something, or advance or help, you know, whatever it is that I can do to advance, right? Or help other people advance. That's my thing. So I have to be with somebody who doesn't depend on me that much for companionship. Not to say I'm like neglecting them, but they can't be that dependent to where we're around each other all day. But I could say that if under certain circumstances, like, because, you know, when you go on vacation, you around them all day, they don't go away. So when I do have those moments, I don't be like, oh man, get up out of here. Like, I'll be cool. You know what I'm saying? So I know, I feel like I could deal with either side of it because fortunately I got somebody I get along with. But I think that's the main determining factor. You really have to like the person. If you don't, then just make sure you around them a lot. Those kind of relationships can work as long as you within the thresholds that you're comfortable with. It only gets exhausting when you're giving too much or not getting enough. But if you find that healthy, balancing, I know I love that word balance, then you're usually good.